Hello all, my name is Parrish. I realize that I haven't posted anything serious in almost an entire year. I still can't believe how successful the very first thing I posted ended up being. Thank you all so much for the subscriptions and views. It was just overwhelming to get that response. I'll be posting a channel introduction video very soon, once I finish working through the rest of my character sprites, as well as some other assets. For now, I'll do an intro light on top of this art fight speed paint. The work that I'm painting in the background is the super cool character Nyss by Deceide-divide, or Decide-divide. I hope I pronounced both of those things correctly. This artist also has a Tumblr, and I will plug both of those links in the description below. If you're participating in Art Fight and are in Team Nightmare like me, I strongly encourage you to attack this person. Their art is just beautiful. So back to what's going on in the background. I wasn't really confident enough to screen record most of the sketching and lining part of this video. You could instantly see me struggle with the hand. Here's an idea to remedy posing early on, of course using reference images. I usually have a mirror right across from my tablet so I can get reference for facial proportions and expressions, and if I need a specific position of the hand or the rest of my body, I usually take a cruddy photo on my phone and reference that right away. You can instantly tell as soon as I pick up the reference because it just looks way better, even though I had to flip it. The little animation that's happening in the corner was an asset that I spent a lot of time on specifically for speed paints like this, if I ended up doing any more of those. I didn't anticipate Art Fight, but I figured that this would be a fun thing to post even before my stills are finished. Well, you know, it's almost been a year already since I've posted anyway. I just wanted to make them something that I can get a bit of mileage out of before I get better at art again, and do them all over since it's truly a laborious process. I hope everyone ends up liking them once I reveal them. Because I figure I'm such a young channel, this video likely won't get many views. I'm not mad about it, but I just want to get a little bit personal about some art insecurities that I often have, and get into why I haven't posted since I got a great response to my first video. When I was younger, I was super lucky to be born with an enjoyment for all kinds of topics. I used to really like math, which I cannot wrap my mind around at all. I don't do any as an adult. I also really liked language and art. I've always had drawing on the back burner and was lucky to grow up with one of my best friends being super talented and interested in art too. We would bounce ideas and OCs and stories off of each other all the time, which we still do to this day. I never considered myself as serious about art as she was until around senior year, when I started considering leaving my small town to go to an art school. Because it was so expensive, this didn't end up happening and I went to a standard university. Luckily enough, she came with me, but except for small spurts, I haven't spent time on art in pretty much 2 years, with the exception of this summer when I decided to recommit myself to the craft. However, this has made me feel totally stagnant, like I lost 2 years of potential growth since high school. Last summer, I posted the White Diamond video without many expectations, and I did it very quickly. I'm planning on doing a video once I have my sprites finished, where I go through and critique that one in more detail. Anyway, I received a very positive response and was shocked because I considered my art to be rushed and childish. If you can't tell by now, I tend to be pretty harsh with myself. I'm super bad at being consistent online, but I have a new resolution to start seeing it through because all of the really nice people a year ago who watched my little joke video. Now I want to double down on the art-specific insecurities part of this video. It's the timeless song and dance of, when I enjoy my traditional sketchbook work, trying to translate that into digital art absolutely frustrates me. When I'm grinding through work on my tablet, traditional practice gets easily abandoned. There are so many mediums that I struggle in that I want to work through more, but it's just a trouble of balance. Digitally, lineless painting, larger canvases, focusing on small details, and line art are my main concerns. Traditionally, I tend to focus on learning a variety of tools, so I practice my work with colored pencils, watercolor, acrylics, lining techniques, and Copic markers. For both, I could stand to improve on backgrounds, anatomy, and characters interacting with each other. Showing people in a physical space and their proportions and making them realistic is absolutely something I have to practice as well. My art always tends to have a floating feeling, like the character is in a black hole rather than on the floor or in a room. There's so much more that I could list, but listing everything just feels ridiculous. With this video, I want to solidify that when it comes to art, things can be difficult and I need to work on my confidence. That's why I'd like to get all these problems with myself out onto the page early on, so I could spit out all the venom that I have inside of me and just start to concentrate on improvement while having a great time with it and expanding my channel. For anyone who is watching or listening who understands how I'm feeling, I highly recommend that you get into Art Fight. Art Fight happens throughout the whole month of July, but if you're watching at a later date, there are a variety of other popularized art challenges that you could work on with people across the internet, such as Inktober and Mermay. No matter what you're doing, commit yourself to a certain goal. For me, I wanted to improve the quantity of what I was producing, as well as exploring the art program I use, Speedpaint. This particular painting that we see in the background, I wanted to focus on shade and light, proportions, and smoothing out my coloring technique with a certain brush. My liner ended up not being as clean as I wanted, but again, I think it ended up being a fantastic exercise. What do you think? Also, I would love to iterate that all constructive criticism is always welcome of my art, editing style, speaking mannerisms, etc., because I am so new and inexperienced and trying to learn all of this in a huge rush. Simultaneously, I'm also working on assets and practice for Twitch art streams, if my computer can handle it, but the same principle applies for everything that I make, that I release. Please be vocal about what I could do better. I have a ton of ideas for content in the future that I'm already working on as I speak. I'd love to interact with whoever watches this Speedpaint in the comments to say thank you for listening to a relatively rambling video topic. The Speedpaint will last a little bit longer, so I'll just turn up the copyright-free music, and thank you so much for joining me. See you soon with some less self-deprecating content. Hasta luego!
I need a 60-foot yacht, some trust fund kids, the promise of a woman in a white bikini, prescription drugs, prescription love, and the miracle to clean up all my dirty martinis. I want it easy. She wants it easy. I want it easy. She wants it easy. I want to fit in the picture of someone else's dream. Morning terrors and my nights of dread. Morning terrors, nights of dread. I get the kind of sun made out of lead. She gets the kind of sun made out of lead. It's weighing down on me. It's weighing down on me.